Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert Bobi Wine General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ennaku ze mu ntebe zisigadde mbali ez'okwejjamu mu mirembe singa alema okwejjamu mu mirembe n'awummula ntusena tumuwa obulabi nga tumulabirira ntumuwa n'obukuumi nga lwakitula Abanayuganda bagenda kumujja mu ntebe eyo ku mpaka ate banamujjamu ku mpaka alina okukwatibwa atwalibwe mu kkomera abitebye misango gyonna gy'azizza ku Bannayuganda ebikolobero byakoze ku Bannayuganda byonna ajja kwewozaako omusango gunamusinga ate awo bw'ekibonerezo oba either okudduka mu ggwanga awo n'ekibambulira naye nga ez'ennaku ze z'okutula mu ntebe eyo ziweddeyo era yandibadde yekwatakwata ne yeetereeza ng'obudde bukyali nga sinnabakomawo mu ggwanga Uganda. Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert Bobi Wine ko ne Bannayuganda bakakasa nti mwami Museveni generaali alina okuva mu ntebe era obutasukka bbanga ddene mu nnaku ntono nnyo bo balina okwolesebwa era buli Munnayuganda alina okwolesebwa nti ekibuga Kampala kigenda kuba kirinidi era kyovula mwami Museveni ennaku zino muti atidde nnyo alaba ebigambo bigenda bikyuka Bannayuganda bakyayinza okumwefuulira ate n'afiirwa akawogo kabadde ajja mu State House mu entebe.
Lost hope. I've spoken to many Ugandans. Of course we have those that choose to ignore it. And you can choose to ignore it. But we can't. We can't. Because even if you're rich, among 100 poor people, you're the 101st poor person. But it's depressing to talk about the situation back home, to talk about the corruption, the sickening corruption back home, to the extent that every corruption scandal is traced to the door of the president of the country. To the extent that the president actually tells the Inspector General of Government, stop talking about corruption, we shall lose support. So corruption is the currency. It is official. It is institutional back home. Talking about these realities, many people say, we are talking evil about Uganda. No, we're talking evil about evil. Uganda is not a bad country. We just have evil people in charge of our country. We love our country. That's why I didn't come here for myself. I'm sure there's a pretty big audience here that if I announce that I'm coming here to perform a show and charge you people, I would make some good money and go back home a few dollars richer than I came. But it's more important to talk about the reality that is facing us, because it's a question of uplifting all of us, not just one person. You've seen the sickening corruption to the extent that they don't only steal money, they steal as much or as low as iron sheets from the poor. Who is stealing? Not a boda guy, not a gateman, no, the vice president, the prime minister, the speaker of parliament, the minister for finance, the minister for ethics and integrity, name it. And yes, because of so much shame, they are apparently arrested and then jailed for a few hours and freed. But at the same time, the young people that dared to protest against this grand theft are still rotting in prison or in torture chambers. How dare you expose us? That's where we are, brothers and sisters. I don't have to talk about the infrastructure back home. Just go on Twitter or Facebook and put a hashtag Kampala Porthole Exhibition or Uganda Health Exhibition. You're going to see the situation back home. I know you people know these things. You have either free or cheap internet. You see these things. But we are even blocked from exposing them. That is why Facebook is banned back home. That is why in your country, a young country, the second youngest country in the world, has a tax on social media. Because they don't want you to expose the evils that are going on. You have seen the theft where they say we're going to build a hospital in Lubova and trillions of money are stolen in broad daylight. So I won't dwell so much on the corruption or the rotten infrastructure or even the gross human rights violations that you see. Like I said, I hate to depress you, but I come from a country where I deal with a friend today and he's abducted. What's his crime? Because he's supporting me. And the following week, you find out they castrated him. I mean castrating like castrating an animal. To send a tough message, never to talk about General Museveni or his son. You've seen what happened to Kapwenza Rukirabaseja, a world-renowned writer. If he puts off his shirt, his back looks like the slaves of the 17th century. So we can't go on and on and on about home. I don't want to depress you, so I'd rather keep this interactive. My main aim of coming to meet you, ladies and gentlemen, is one, to give you a slight update, which updates I know you know, but also hear from you. Hear your views, because we believe in servant leadership. On the 14th of January 2021, I was elected President of Uganda. Thank you for clapping, but I did not become President of Uganda. Because we are under gun rule. And it was not the first time that the people of Uganda were going to the polls and that decision was undermined. Dr. Kizza Besigye was there before me. Only that this was blatant, because I held a presidential campaign in a bulletproof vest and a ballistic helmet, and many of them were killed. This young man here is called Ashraf Kasidi. He loves his country. He's a journalist. He was supposed to be in his country, but he's having this helmet not because he's a border rider. No. Because a projectile was aimed at me, and it got him. He was putting on a helmet for protection, but it went through the helmet, and I saw his brain. God works in miraculous ways. We still have Ashraf here. So today I won't talk about so much about Uganda, because I don't want to sound like I'm lamenting. I don't want to depress you. I want my visit here to motivate you rather than depress you. I want by the time we leave this room to be like, yeah, to not like, man, I can't. No. So I want to give positive energy. Although it's important to know the problem. Now I've given you just a bit of the problem, and you know the rest of the problem. Before I take your thoughts and your questions, ladies and gentlemen, I thought it's important to once again reiterate what we are about. Me, I was an artist. I'm still an artist. Every time I get a minute, I pass in the studio and I do a song. So, I was an artist. I didn't come before you because I was the most educated, or because I was the most experienced, or because I was the oldest. No. I came because I saw what the problem was. And I saw that those that we were brought up thinking that they are the special ones to think for us had actually sold us. Dr. Besigye said it, and I agree with him largely, that the intellectuals in Uganda have betrayed us. They've chosen a comfortable zone. Back in the days when Norbert Mao's brain was still in the head before it fell in the stomach, he used to say these people are called 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 wife, 2 children, 3-bedroom house, 4-wheel drive. That is what Norbert Mao used to describe them with. He's an intelligent guy. He's even one time quoted to have said that once you are paid to be stupid, then your intelligence ceases to matter. He was so right. So friends, myself and my team and the people who work with in Uganda came together and we ran with a mission. What is our mission? What do we want? Many times they describe us as angry young people, as hooligans. But there's something we want. What exactly is it? What is our dream of Uganda? What is this new Uganda that we're talking about? Tulizimba Uganda, and here we shall build a new Uganda. What new Uganda? Many imaginations, but part of that imagination, part of that dream, of that new Uganda that we want a better Uganda. Because some of us have traveled and we see what's happening in other countries, countries that are not even a fraction of the endowment that we have in terms of natural wealth and resources. In terms of human resource, we have young people, intelligent young people, who are stuck in a country that doesn't work for them. So our dream is to have a democratic country. A country where people have a right to determine their future and their destiny. America and all these other developed countries, the first quality they have, the first factor for their development is democracy. The leaders are answerable to the people. They do what will benefit the people in terms of development in various ways. America has not just good leaders. I've said it time and again that these leaders here don't do the right thing because they are so good. No. Biden or Obama or Bush or whoever, they don't do the right thing because they are very good people. No. But because Americans are empowered enough not to take nonsense. Because those leaders are answerable, because the people are empowered. And that's why when we were starting our movement, we call it people power. We want a Uganda where leaders are servants to the people and people are true masters. They can appoint you and disappoint you. They can vote you in and vote you out. That is our mission. That is the Uganda that we want, ladies and gentlemen. And once you have leaders that are answerable to you, leaders will be worried. I won't steal from you because you can keep me out. And at that junction, we will start thinking about important things like what? Like healthcare. All of you know in Uganda, if any of you came to Uganda and you have a border accident and you hit your head on the tarmac, okay, the remaining part of the tarmac. Believe me, when you reach hospital, man, the hospitals are sick. Are sick. The number of women that die giving birth every day. The number of children that die every day. I don't want to depress you to tell you that every single day 18 women die. And that's according to Ministry of Health. There are probably more. 300 children in Uganda die under the age of 5. Every day, there are probably more. Because this is a report from Ministry of Health. We want to better our healthcare system. Because it once happened. My mama told me that back in the day, when you're going to deliver a baby, you will go, everything will be there because you pay taxes. We pay more taxes than we used to pay then. But the healthcare system is dead. The education system is dead. And even when you sell the remaining piece of land of your family to educate your children, the best they can get is become border riders or go and become kadamas and become maids or security guards in the Arab world. We want to better our education system because we know what matters. For example, my thought is that our education system should be divided in 4 areas. And we call them Quadro A and agriculture. That alone is enough to transform our country. Not only looking at academics, yes, let's produce the lawyers, the engineers, etc. But we can, educate, we can train our sports people, or what your last name is or where you come from. Want a Uganda where people are defined by the content of their character, not who their father is. Currently, there are certain jobs that are earmarked for children that are still in their pampers. You've seen it, including the president. That is where we are, because we don't own our country anymore. We want to change that. That is our mission. That is what we want to do. And that was supposed to be the mission right from the day I'm sworn in as president, or when anybody else, because it's not about me. Friends, it's not about me becoming president. No, even if I don't become, I want a free Uganda. This should be divorced from Bobi Wine wanting to be president. Yes, I won, and I should have been president. And if I was president, man, you guys would have the coolest president. I can tell you, Uganda will be the most popular country. Our image internationally will transform overnight. But Museveni denied you that. Anyway, friends, we want to develop our country because it's possible. Uganda is rich. Rich, we have resources to transform that. I'll give you an example of Kigali here, of Rwanda. Never mind their politics. But, I mean, compare the two. We can develop our country. We surely can, and we should do that, brothers and sisters. That is very, very possible. I want to tell you that in well-governed countries, like here in the United States, even when you're broke, because I know we probably have a few broke brothers and sisters in here. But here, even when you're broke, your poverty ends in your house. When you step out of your house, you are just as rich as any American. In fact, you are just as rich as the richest American. When you step out of your house, you own the road equally with Bill Gates and Elon Musk. You share the same on the security. You share the same on everything, the infrastructure. But back home, no matter how rich you are, your richness stops in your house. When you get out of your house, you're just as poor as Kabaya. I can tell you. The insecurity, same. The potholes, same. The risk to your life, same. And if you have an accident or something happens to your life, or even a simple sickness, and some of us grew up in the ghetto, so we are resistant. Our bones are hard to break. But you, if you ever find yourself in one of Uganda's health centers or hospitals, my friend, you are finished. We want to change that. Because nobody is safe. Not even those in power. You saw Badiomunsi when he collapsed one of those days. He was taken to a health facility. And there was not even a pair of gloves. You know? Most of them died from abroad. Olanya died in Seattle, UK, according to Nabaja. You know? You know where Tumile died from. You know where Mohakanis died from, and all others. They don't give birth in Uganda. They don't die in Uganda. It's reduced to a cemetery. Even their children are not educated in Uganda. We need to change that, man. We need. Some of us are lucky. I mean, we are in America. We can access the first world. But there is 45 million people, and each of you has relatives there. No matter how successful you are, you cannot evacuate all of them from Uganda. You can't. And even when you manage, your heart will stay there. Because you will never be a pure American. You are Ugandan. Yes. The only solution is to transform our country. Because our country is beautiful. And we have everything that we need to change our country. We have everything. The problem is leadership. The problem is priority. The priorities are different. General Museveni and his cabal, their priority is keeping power. And anything else is secondary. Staying in power and looting the country, turning it into personal property. That is the pain of Africa. That is the pain of Uganda. So while we were discussing advancement of Africans and black people, I was silently ashamed of myself. I said, man, these guys, what are they even talking about? For us, we are struggling to be human beings. To be human beings. I was having a chat with my brother Julius Malema in South Africa. Their struggle now is for economic rights. Ours is for human rights. We want to be human in our country. At least in our lifetime, to be human, fully human. That's not the case. Our parents fought colonialism, but now we are recolonized by fellow black people. That is the pain of our country. I could go on and on and on and on, brothers and sisters, but no one is safe in our country. I had not even intended to speak for long because this is supposed to be interactive. Reason why I came here is not to tell you this. I know you are online. I could tell you this online. I want to physically thank you for the support. To be here so that you know I'm still alive and getting strong. I'm not dead and I'm not about to die. But also, I wanted to hear from you, friends. Because these things we're doing in your name. Are we representing you? Is this what you believe in? And if not, what do you think we can do better to represent you? Because we need you. And that brings me to my call to you, friends. Fellow Ugandans, you are the special ones. You are the lucky ones. God has uplifted you. But the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is expected. You have a responsibility of representing us. Historically, the Africans that change Africa are usually best here. Historically, the Ugandans that have helped cause change back home are here. Because much as we claim that we are independent, there's still a looming neocolonialism somewhere in the air. And it will take you people, because you are here. We want to be relating with these developed countries as equals. It shouldn't be charity, it should be a collaboration. They have what we need, and we have what they need. So there's so much you can do. But before you even engage them, I want to request you, friends, you must unite. You must unite. Our biggest problem has been disunity. Our tribes were supposed to be a blessing. I am a Muganda. It's supposed to be a blessing because it identifies me. When you say Chagulanyi Sentamo, they say, okay, that name sounds African. Is it Obadiah? No, Obadiah sounds Nigerian. Is it Nyerere? Nyerere sounds Tanzanian. Chagulanyi sounds East African. It will take you to Uganda. When it takes you to Uganda, is it Onen? No, that's north. Is it Yarhanga? That's east. Is it Mogoya? That's west. That's central. To the central. When it brings you to the central, okay, central, Chagulanyi, that's Mbogo clan. Mbogo clan, it will bring you to Moguru. That is a natural GPS. Same with all other African tribes. It's supposed to be a beautiful thing. But our tribes, we ourselves, we've turned them into a disaster. We divide ourselves according to tribe. So I want to call for unity today. Regardless of your tribe, regardless of your social status, regardless of your sex, regardless of anything, we need to come together because we need each other. Here you're not any different. You're just another black man or black woman. You're just another African. So you must come together. so that we can uplift a place where you are loved. In any case, that's where a majority, if not all of you, are going to be buried. I'm calling for unity, my brothers, my sisters. We must unite. There's so much that unites us. The pain back home can unite us and work together to change it. That's going to benefit our children, because I have news for you. Our children are not concerned about your tribe or your religion. No. They are far ahead of us. I'm calling for unity in the diaspora. There's no reason why we should be divided. Not at all. Let the mission for freedom unite us. Secondly, I want to send a message to you that it is possible. We are not only sloganeering. It is possible. And it can happen sooner than later. We can change our country. We can. Because we have all ability. All of you are differently talented. Now imagine the number we have here. And we have similar or even more numbers in other states. If we harness this, we can utilize it. The message that our overall diaspora leader, Dr. Kauma, has always been saying to you is 3 steps. Mobilize, organize, and agitate. I'm glad that we are advancing on our organizational level, but please let us agitate. I want to salute our sister Helen, who went and put up a scene when Dictator Museveni came here. You can do that. Protest. Take advantage of the rights that you have. You know, you can never know what you have until you lose it. Now, me who lives in Uganda, man, I envy you people. You can even hold a protest. You can even have a placard and put the word freedom. The word freedom, you know how dangerous that word is in Uganda. You can even say we want to be free. Use it. It works. Those dictators fear one thing, exposure. But you're Okuwamba. So let's agitate, let's expose that, let us protest, it works. If you doubt that protests work, I want to remind you, when the EU Parliament stopped the eco pipeline, General Museveni brought our children from school, gave them placards to go and protest because he knows protests work. Another living example that protests work is me. I am here because you protested. I wouldn't be here. But when the protesters say, Chika, they went to Parliament, we caught him with guns, people saying, Wapi, free Bobi Wine. They say, no, okay, free. Museveni addressed, I don't know how many media conferences he addressed, but all was not working until he vomited me out. So it works. If you saved me, we can save the 45 million back home. We are doing what you're doing back home, but we need to coordinate with you. We want it to be also amplified out here. So please agitate, protest, and do all that you can. Of course, we'll be getting more guidance because we are in constant cooperation and constant communication with the diaspora leadership. There's so much that we can do together, especially if we come together. We don't just sing this. We say, if we only come together, we can change our destiny. It is true. If we only come together, that's where ideas start. That's where strategies start. Let us come together, friends. So many of you can offer us invaluable leadership, but just because we're not together, let's connect, let's build that chain of brotherhood and sisterhood. And finally, I want to send a message to our intellectuals. Uganda has so many resourced people here. You, the intellectuals in the diaspora, you are a product of the sweat of the people of Uganda, your mothers, your fathers. You can do so much. We request you to know that we need you. We don't know everything. You can guide us. You can even lead us. There's so much that we don't know. But you who know it, you are seated. You are silent. Don't be silent. Please come up. Yes, I know some of you are scared. I mean, some people say, Bobby, you are mad. How do you even face that dictator? Yes, some of us, let us be mad. But at least I know you can also work underground. Organize underground. Some of you who fear to come out. But we need you. We need you to get involved. Don't leave this to us. Some writers say the punishment for the intelligent people who don't get involved in politics or leadership is to be ruled by their minors. If you don't get ruled, you'll be ruled by your minors. Just imagine Museveni's son takes power. Just imagine. One sweep, one sip, one tweet. 1,000 people dead. Another sip, another tweet. Another 1,000 people dead. And that's how our country is going to go. So you need to get involved before it's too late. You cannot leave it to us. This country belongs to all of us. All of us. So please get involved. And I know you can even know that you can reach out to the US government through your elected leaders, the congressmen and women. Many of them are actually unaware of what's happening. I speak on conferences and I tell them about Uganda and say, man, are you sure you are not sensationalizing that? Because it sounds too gross to be true. Educate the world about Uganda. Some of us are too preoccupied back home, fighting back, because the dictator is keeping us busy. Every day they bring up something. Either they bring a fellow artist to divert you, or they bring a blogger to divert you, or they bring this or that. So they are preoccupying us, but we are many, we can do so much. Please do something wherever you are. Reach out to them, tweet and tag them. These people respect their voters. You are taxpayers. It is your money that is enslaving your people. Your own money. There's a book we wrote recently called Expensive Poverty with Dr. Greg Mills. And when you read it, you realize that it's our own wealth back home that is keeping us that way. It is the wealth of the Banyo in terms of oil that has kicked them off their land. It is the wealth of the Karamajong people that is keeping them that way. And now, it is your taxpayers' money, brothers and sisters, that is facilitating the dictatorship back home. Even let me request that we have this interactive. I'm sorry I spoke and I could go on and on and on because it pains. But I would love to hear from you, share thoughts from you, and see how best we can push this forward. Thank you very much for listening to me, ladies and gentlemen.
President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine. Uganda yaffenna obuvunaanyizibwa buli erinze buli erigwe okulaba tununula eggwanga yaffe kubanga biruma bisiiwa ng'obirowoozaako n'olyawo n'amaanyi gakuwedde n'ate nga tolina kuzikiza tolina kutuula wansi tulina kwongera kulumba tulina kwongera kukola ebyo ebigwanidde okukolebwa okulanga eggwanga lyaffe linunulwa ate nga kisoboka kasita tukkiriza netugamba tulina okukikola bijja kukolebwa nti buli omu akole kyasobola okukola oyo asobola okukolera underground akolereyo oyo asobola okulumba ku street tulumbe tujje oyo asobola okukwata akasente n'akawa abalwanyi nti mugulemu amazzi ku street mukolemu akagaati mugulemu muwogo ku street akikole n'oyo asobola okukola kyonna kyasobola okukola okulumba zi offices ez'enjawulo okwongera okulabisa General Kaguta Museveni muzirumbe alabisibwe namwe abakungaanya obujulizi obw'enjawulo nga mukozesa kamera zammwe okwongera okubala nti no bongera okugenda mu kkooti y'ensi yonna okwongera okulaga ekituufu ekiri mu ggwanga Uganda namwe mukikole era kikolebwe okulaba nga General Kaguta Museveni atereezebwa mu layini Abannayuganda baddizibwa obuyinza bwabwe bulimu olina obuvunaanyizibwa, olina omulimu gwegumu ne munno ku lw'eggwanga Uganda eddamu epya. Tewali agenda kutulwanirako wabula ffe ffennyini tulina okwerwanirako, ffe ffennyini tulina okukyekolerako okulaba ng'eggwanga lyaffe tulitereeza, ate nga tujja kukikola singa tunakkiriza nti ekimala kimala. Akaseera akasigaddewo kakulwanirira Uganda yaffe tujja kugirwanirira era tujja kugitereeza. Gwe nange tusobole okubeera mu nsi ennungi, gwe nange tusobole okulaba ku Uganda empya ng'ezimbiddwa bupya, aye tuvimbiremu. Kyagulanyi atugamba nti tulizimba Uganda empya era ddala tusobola okugizimba Uganda empya singa tusalawo nti ffe tukomyeko okubonaabona mu nsi yaffe, nti omulembe gwaffe gwe gusembyeyo okubonaabona ogw'abaana baffe abazzukulu baffe tegulibonaabona bula gulibeera mu mirembe. Kyagulanyi Eva akugamba era nti amawanga gano ge tweyagaliramu gannaggwa dda America, Bungereza, China, Germany, Canada, France, name it yonna gy'oli, amawanga ago waliwo abannansi abeewaayo abasacrificinga buli kimu okulaba nga amawanga gatereera gafuuka kyogalaba leero. Baawaayo omusaayi gwabwe, baawaayo obulamu bwabwe, baawaayo buli kimu ekyabwe okulaba nga amawanga ago gafuuka kye gali leero n'okutuusa okwesimisa buli agalaba n'agawulira n'agagendamu. Kati naffe Uganda, ffe baana ba leero, ffe obuvunaanyizibwa buli mu ngalo zaffe okwefiiriza buli kimu, okukola buli kimu ekisaanidde okukolebwa ensi yaffe etereere, ensi yaffe eddemu ebeere ensi ennungi, ensi eyeesimisa, ensi ey'omuggundu, ensi neeyagalirwamu abaana baffe, ensi ffenna mwe tunaakolera ebirungi ate nga temuli kibba ttaka, temuli kitta bantu, temuli kisosoza mu mawanga, temuli kibba kalulu, temuli kitulugunya, temuli kiwamba baana, temuli kusiba bantu bwereere. Ensi ddala eneekweyagaza, ensi eneeyagaza, ensi gye tunaayenyumirizangamu ng'erimu eddembe lya buli kimu, nga buli muntu ali free okukola kyayagala okukola. Y'ensi Uganda gye tuyaayaanira, y'ensi ffenna gye twetaaga okulabako, ate nga ffe abaana ba leero, ffe ab'omulembe guno kitukakatako nnyo okukikola kino, tukirabeko nga tukyusiza eggwanga lyaffe, abaana baffe tubaleke mu nsi nga tugyesiga, nga tuli sure nayo nti abaana baffe bajja gikuliramu. Naye kati Uganda bwe tuyinza kuba sure baba banaakula, baba banaafuna kye bakola, banaafuna kye balya, tetuli sure, just tuli kutalaafiya. Mbaagala nnyo mwenna bali kubaako, Mukama Katonda nsaba gira abankuumira, tujja kuba tuddamu okugamba ebigambo, mweraba.